Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to LCK 2019 Summer. We're here for the final game of the week. Week 3 will be concluded after this, and will it be a KT win or will it be a SANDBOX win is the question. KT played a bit of baseball in game number 1, but figured things out in game number 2 and piloted a more simple comp to play to a pretty comfortable win in the end.
We see Atlas is, you said they played it in game number 1. They were still playing it in game number 2. See, they pitched the ball.
Then they ran in
then
front of their opponent and caught
it back.
Oh, right, okay, damn it.
You know?
I thought they pitched the ball and then ran really fast and grabbed it themselves.
Yeah.
Speaking of really fast, we're straight into the Champion Select for the final game. SANDBOX back on the blue side, and they'll be banning the Aurelia one more time. Bans, for those who forgot, game number 1 was Aurelia, Gragas, Rek'Sai on blue side, and Sejuani, Karma, Aatrox on the red side.
Oh. Let's see if SANDBOX are going to change up their draft approach here for the final game and not SK Telecom it up. As Yuumi now going to be banned away, so I guess maybe not feeling so comfortable on it.
No, not wanting to opt in for any sort of shenanigans with the Yuumi. Of course, wasn't locked in first up, and KT were the team that were able to put that to use with the Pyke in game number 1.
Perhaps they just want to actually get Summit his Jayce on the first pick.
Well, Karma's going to be banned. I'm happy about that.
Yep.
Okay, final ban to come in here for KT. What will it be? Aatrox was the ban last time around. I wouldn't see a reason to deviate from that plan right here. We'll see what KT decide they want to do. LeBlanc, he's going to be taken off the board as KT are aiming for a bit of a Azir pickup for BDD potentially.
Jayce.
They're probably expecting the Jayce lock in one more time, but SANDBOX, understanding KT's plan, are going to lock away the Azir.
Okay. It's going to be Azir for Dove. And let's see how KT elect to respond back.
Aatrox.
Aatrox is open, but instead actually want to pick the Jayce. Take it away from Summit's ability to play it. Now,
we could actually see them lock in Jayce and Aatrox here.
We could see
theory.
that. Yep.
Because then there's an opportunity for Score to go to something like an Elise or a Karthus in the jungle. I mean, I know Score not necessarily known for being a Karthus player, but he has played it one time and did manage to pick up the victory on it. Tahm Kench, though, is where KT are going to go instead.
So Tahm picked up. We don't know what kind of a Tahm that'll end up being, whether it be actual support Tahm or if it's going to be accompanied by a Sona later on in the phase. Now, interesting thing for me is the Jayce pick. This is something I've talked about quite a few times inside of the LCK, where I feel like there's only a few people that can actually pilot him.
Yep.
And make him a worthwhile pick. And we're going to have to see if Smeb can live up to that reputation here in match point of match 30.
I would like an Aatrox here and then throw it in the jungle and then meet the Jayce with the Pyke top lane. But we'll see. See where SANDBOX are going to go here. There it is. So the Aatrox is going to be locked in. Still a lot of funny business available here for SANDBOX. Nothing set in stone, but my idea could come to fruition.
KT Rolster perhaps just want to pick a jungler here and then pinch the jungle pool.
I'm really perplexed that they didn't just insta-lock Gragas Yasuo.
Yeah.
But not their idea, and it means that BDD does just want to head back to the Taliyah. Is another way of threatening the Azir. Of course, the pebbles mean that you throw them down in front of him while he's trying to get his shuffle on. It can remove a lot of health as he's heading through there, things like that.
Taliyah was the first champion that actually rose up to challenge Azir.
Yeah,
when it was the Azir Victor meta.
Yep.
That was the true gentleman's meta.
It was.
It
was
really
certainly
was
a gentleman's meta.
Azir Victor every game was just a gentleman's agreement. Both hyper carries late game, and then Taliyah had to come and ruin the fun. I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember when that ended up happening, and
I also really enjoyed the Victor Orianna Malzahar metas, you know, where you've got minions dying in the mid lane and not much else. It was a beautiful time. We're going to see some bans coming in here, though, of some 80 carries. That role hasn't actually been looked at so much just yet. So the Ashe, banned away from Prey, of course, is the most iconic pick of all time. And the Xayah, going to be taken off the board against Ghost. Got an MVP in game number 1. They don't want to see that again.
And now Sivir is being banned away, so they're really trying to limit the ADC champion pool.
That is, yeah, that's a lot of the top tier being removed. The Ezreal, probably the next ban here on SANDBOX's side, but the Varus is going to come through. Prey not going to have access to any bows and arrows this time around.
Well, Prey probably goes Ezreal.
I want Caitlyn. I think Caitlyn's strong at the moment.
Well, Ezreal against Pyke and Aatrox is actually really strong. Also has insane synergy with the Taliyah and the Jayce.
Damn, I think you might be right.
It's a Ranger comp, you know?
Yeah.
So you gotta understand that, yeah. Ranger Sorcerer, so they're activating the Ranger on the Jayce and the Ezreal, and they got the Sorcerer on the Ezreal and the Taliyah.
Oh, Jayce would be a cool, like,
he's a Ranger.
Like a Ranger Brawler type thing, right? I know you can't mix two classes together, and we need to figure out an origin. I'm not sure. Smeb, I mean, Jayce would probably be a noble.
You know what? They're just
going
to come up with a new one. It's going to be called Mechanic.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that's what...
Well, he could be Robot, couldn't he?
Ooh, he could be Robot.
Yeah.
He's the Defender of Tomorrow. Okay.
Well, Ezreal locked in, and the response is that Sona. Ghost's going to pick that one up. And we could put a Galio here, in theory. Or we could pick a jungler. Means that we are going to have that Pyke Sona lane that we've been musing about. I believe it's happened once or twice as our scores. Thinking about going back to the Viking. Hasn't been very successful on it recently, but
so
with the Skarner, that could actually work quite nicely into the Sona.
Pick Gragas. Nope. That's not Gragas. So here's the reason that you don't pick an engaged jungler, okay? You have Jayce, Taliyah, and Ezreal. The opposing team only has an Azir as a means to counter you. They also have several squishies that, if getting disrupted by some sort of, I don't know, AoE, would end up being quite tragic with all the amount of poke that you have. So if they lock in the Gragas right there, it's really hard for SANDBOX to itemize against the damage on KT, as well as the Gragas cast plus Ezreal and Taliyah can just one-shot several of the champions on the enemy team. But now with the Rek'Sai is going to act as a mid-rangey type of engaged champion, is actually going to do it a little bit worse than a Jarvan probably would at this stage. And it just ends up being another letdown.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a dicey moment. The other reason why Gragas was really good is it only augments their ability to siege turrets. Explosive cast can be a great tool in getting people out of the way. There's like a plethora. Plus scores the best Gragas of all time.
There is a Google search number. You know what I mean? Of reasons why you don't pick Rek'Sai here, but they didn't quite get the memo.
Wow.
All right, someone write that on Prey's birthday card or something. I'm getting fed up. Had enough of these terrible drafts.
Well, we got the Sona Pyke, and that's exciting. And Summit is back on his best champion in the Aatrox. Still, I think you can nerf Aatrox about as many times as you want. Summit will still be a player that I fear on the pickup.
Yep.
Very, very good. And the Azir, certainly a hot ticket item at this point in the meta at the moment on 9-12.
This team composition is actually just so scary. Jayce, Rek'Sai, Taliyah, Ezreal, and Tahm. There is so much poke and anti-engage.
Imagine how much more poke there'd be with barrels.
Imagine if they just actually picked Gragas.
Oh, this would have been great. Unfortunately, Gragas was banned, obviously.
Yeah, clearly.
By someone.
Yeah.
We're going to find out who, but in the meantime, let's get onto the Rift. Whoa.
That was scary.
Well, at least the KT fans have some more coordination. SANDBOX still needs to work on their fan cheers as we have a look at the beautiful skybox and the turret plates being set up. Ghost is by himself as our SnowFlower looks as dapper as ever. Love that skin. Do you know what that skin reminds me of?
What?
The King Zora from Zelda.
Which Zelda? I stopped after Ocarina of Time.
Well, Ocarina of Time, King Zora.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't remember that. Maybe I'm just too young. Maybe my memory's not there.
You never went to the inside Jabu Jabu's stomach?
So, see, I played Ocarina of Time and never finished it or beat it.
I mean, it was the third dungeon of the whole game, so it's like right at the beginning.
I actually don't remember
You
those.
never played through Ocarina of Time?
Not completely, no.
Do you have a 3DS?
No. I'm getting a Switch because Pokemon.
We might see a re-release. You might have an opportunity because the remake for 3DS Ocarina of Time is actually fantastic.
Okay.
Really, really, really good.
I like that.
That means you can play arguably the best game ever made of all time.
Ooh,
on
I
the
like
go.
this. Spell Thieves on Ezreal.
Yeah, we've done it. So we're frostmancing on both sides. And we're taking Klepto on both sides as well. So
Anything you can do, I can do better.
yeah, or equally. Okay, we've got even skins. I feel like the Dapper is working on both this Pyke and the Tahm Kench. He's got rings on his tongue. It's so cool.
That's quite a body mod.
Yeah.
That seems very painful if you were to do that in real life.
Yeah. However, it means he jangles when he does his tongue lash, as damn, Prey took a hell of a lot of damage. That's what happens, I guess, when you don't have any health on your starting item. Smeb dives in onto Summon.
Transcendence for Prey.
Okay.
And so far this game, SANDBOX starting out okay in the middle lane, not so well in the top lane, as Summit getting pushed under. Not sure how much CS he's going to be able to get. I think he only got 5 out of the first 12. As the third wave.
OnFleek's coming in, and Ghost's going to get the flash. SnowFlower flashes immediately afterwards, but there's the audacious charge. Bone Skewer lands. That's going to mean a very dead Tahm Kench, but Prey may follow up the flash forward. That's the power chord. Double kill for the Sona, and this has started about as wrong as it can for KT Rolster.
And the Sona getting that much gold early on is massive for her. She's going to be able to recall.
Over double is gold already.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Over double is gold already. Has the Klepto, has the Spell Thieves that's going to be ramping and making everything just go so much smoother. And bot lane is going to be a nightmare now without spells. You have to
first
endlessly.
buy was disgusting. I think that was Frostfang as well as a tier already completed.
Oh yeah, the lane's over.
Yeah.
So let's just take a look at this. The lane state while this gank is all happening is beautiful, by the way. The cannon minions, the minions getting pulled backwards, the incoming minion wave from KT, everything just lines up perfectly.
Okay.
Nice! Yeah, really nicely done, Ghost. Incredibly excited. Hopefully we can get word as to what he just said. But SANDBOX coaching staff are always so animated. Okay, OnFleek. See whether you can do that one again. He just said poke poke. Says G-Sun, that's the confirmation. And the other confirmation is the fact that yes, that is Tear of the Goddess and Frostfang, both done.
They want to kill Summit.
Well, they might be able to do so. There's a big old minion wave coming in here as Score sets up a tunnel. They haven't started the aggro just yet, but Score is just... Oh! Has to flash! As Smeb is going to bring the hammer down. That was very close, but KT do manage to nail the dive.
And meanwhile, OnFleek, he gets Scuttle Crab on the right-hand side. Teleport coming in and top. And by the way, all 3 of these members shared XP.
Yeah.
So, meanwhile, mid lane, Dove didn't end up getting a turret plate, but had he, and considering the mid-wave that he ended up eating, it might not actually be the end of the world, all things considered, given that he got Score's flash.
And he gets a really nice back timing when he doesn't have teleport available as well. I see your point completely.
Look at the mini-map right here, because we already know what happened inside of the play. Summit almost managed to get the kill. That's great. The mini-map's where the real stuff is actually going on, because Azir had a minion wave in front of his turret, then he consumes all of that. So you get that gold value, you get the XP in mid lane, and then he gets the wave coming back into him with a recall that matches Taliyah. And then there's also the Scuttle Crab that goes over to the jungler on the right-hand side.
Speaking of the jungler on the right-hand side, Score is going to make his way in. Prey landing some of these autos, but Joker, he's going to be able to eat up that grey health, and Score has to return. Takes a tunnel, gets the heck out, and Ghost is going to keep him healthy once again. Frostfang was done for Prey as well on his back, but he only has the Fairy Charm towards a tier of his own. It's going to be very similar items until the Archangels and or the Manamune are completed for either of these carries on the bottom side. As far as the farm, you can see that Joker is winning That's where we're going to be looking. He's actually just going to take a bit of an adventure through his own jungle. You can see the hard farming being done here by OnFleek and Score, both of them. The Hail of Blades junglers don't need a keystone to tear apart this particular jungle. Warrior Enchant almost there for OnFleek, Caulfield's Warhammer, and then the recipe completion. And we need an extra longsword here on Score's side. As far as those items, some bags of gold coming in for both Prey and for Ghost. We'll be able to check to see whose quest completion is going to happen first. I think that Ghost is in the lead at this stage with the Frostfang. Oh dear. Score's pathing over. Don't know whether they saw him there, but BDD, that's why you check brushes each time, guys. Really nicely done. Dove it on Fleek.
Oh.
They're going to come in. Joker is extremely fast.
Yeah.
All he has is some Moby Boots, and that is going to be Dove picking up that blue buff. Very, very nicely done from SANDBOX. Dove is so far ahead.
Yes.
20 CS over BDD.
He's 20 CS up. Also, look at BDD. All right, so we just got a glimpse. He's about 6.2, 6.3 in terms of level.
Yep.
Dove is into 7 right now. So the experience differential in mid lane is massive. And now look at the bottom lane state. It's coming into Ghost and Joker. So Sona has this ability. You press it and it heals both you and your allies. So when the wave is in front of your turret and the opponents have to respect that your jungler's in close proximity and you know the enemy jungler's on the other side of the map, you can actually make it really risky for them to farm and threaten to gank them. But you don't want to do that. You might kill someone.
No, you don't want to do something like that. That's bad.
That'd be tragic.
Yeah, it's a
Instead,
bad news scenario.
You want your jungler to gank when the lane is still in the very middle, so that the opponent can flash away.
Nice.
We're learning here together.
Yeah, I'm all about it. I'm all about it. SnowFlower flash on cooldown though, so still successful gank here on the side of SANDBOX. Smeb going to take himself a second turret plate here on the top side. He is trashing this lane, but that is understandable. He has the level advantage up here as well. You were talking about level leads earlier on. Got a back coming in now for Ghost. Just going to head home. Vision now getting cleared. Ghost probably not wanting to head home just yet. Probably wants to go once that quest is completed, but not entirely sure how close they are to getting that one.
The gold score is 600 only in favor of SANDBOX currently. And here we go again, round 2.
Yep, deep water dive, looking for SnowFlower. Does land the bone skewer very nicely. Crescendo, just to guarantee it. Joker's going to share some gold around OnFleek. Going to get the main advantage there with the sack of gold.
So keep mental note, it's 4-1 right now.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
4-1 is the current kill score.
That's bad news for KT, who are already about 2,000 gold behind. You can see the money. A lot of it is in the hands of Sona, about 700 gold in the lead. Big number there in advantage. I didn't check the mid lane, though, which would have probably been...
Dove's almost 9.
Yeah.
And BDD is... Okay. Yeah, all right. So it's about 8.8 versus 8 right now in the middle lane. And so, yeah, this is round number 2. SnowFlower doesn't have his flash available. They chain everything really well. Crescendo into the knockup from OnFleek. And then they end up sharing the Pyke gold. BDD avoiding the laning phase because he realizes, hey, I can't actually go toe-to-toe with this player anymore in the mid lane. He's too far ahead. Let's just try to roam, create a chaotic environment.
Oh, Joker's predated right now. He is very, very fast. He can dash over that wall pretty easily, so no worries there. SnowFlower lying in wait, but there's 2 members waiting in that brush on the top side. Summit is going to be in a lot of trouble if he steps too far forward in this lane, and you can see SANDBOX are all moving back towards the mid lane. Decent knock-up, good Umbral dash there from Summit to keep himself safe, and you can see KT not going to do too much more. SANDBOX should be able to get some turret plates here in the mid lane, as it's 10.5 minutes into the game, and they've got vision around where Shelly is. Able to move over. Summit is thinking about putting his face into that brush, but you can see Smeb, he's so far away. Oh my, he's... And now the face check comes in, and Powered Shock Blast is there. Good flash. The World Ender is available, and Score locks it down. They paid a big investment for that one as Prey going to avoid the death from below. but the death in general is still going to come. Zhao going to be grabbing that one. SnowFlower not able to get any kills underneath this turret. Seismic Shove is decent from B to D, but the sidestep is too good from Dove. Looking for some more turret plates here. SANDBOX very deep underneath this one. SnowFlower not able to offer too much back, and that is going to be another turret plate falling in favor of SANDBOX.
And so right now, a ton of plates do go down up in top lane. Smeb should be able to get the final plate as well as the first turret blood.
And KT should be able to start Shelly here as well, because they knew that Din was bottom side.
Score is really trying to put Summit in the ground. He's really mad about his flash being taken away during that gank before, as Agatha is looking like she's going to go down.
Yep, going to steal away Agatha.
Oh!
That's a great knock-up. That's going to get another flash.
He
and Score's going to be
so well.
even more angry. And now OnFleek and Dove coming up as well. That's some do-si-do being performed here by the Rek'Sai. Goes through one of his tunnels as Joker. He's got eyes on the prize. The Predator comes forward, lands the Bone Skewer. Remember, this is Score, who does have the Hail of Blades, but it's not enough. Joker's going to be able to do it. It's the solo kill, actually, for the Pyke. Did have to invest the Ignite, but 2-0-3 now for this Pyke. The bottom lane going, yeah, pretty well.
Yeah, almost a 1,000 gold advantage for the Sona, 1,200 gold advantage for the Pyke. And Pyke is essentially another carry champion with how accelerated he is this game. Remember, he has an extra kill share inside of him, so the kill score at the top is realistically 6-2 right now.
Yep.
And even though Summit is behind, he's on the Aatrox, and he's not super far behind to the point where he's out of the game. All it would take is one kill onto the Jayce, 2 minion waves going over his way due to the death timer, and all of a sudden he's back in the game. And you can see right now that Smeb is playing super cautious.
Yeah, notice that all of the vision is being controlled by SANDBOX. It's very dark on that top side apart from the control ward at the back of Shelly's pit. Shelly was also taken. That went over to SANDBOX during all the craziness as the teleport's going to come in. Joker looking for more. SnowFlower with the Devour, but it's very early. There are 5 members down here, guys. Crescendo comes in. That's so much money. Doesn't get the reset because the Catfish dies too damn fast.
And now the Riptide being summoned. It's gonna launch.
It is, and we're going to get the turret plates for it as well. 10 seconds on the clock. See you later, turret. That is all the plates, and it goes straight to the Sona lane.
So that's 10 plates now going over to SANDBOX this game. Meanwhile, I believe 8 went over to KT.
Yeah, 7 or 8, I think. It's definitely 5 on the top side. Not sure how many fell in the bottom lane, but it looks like only a couple as Smeb. Oh, he's going to get slowed down. Wind did indeed become lightning.
They're almost able to get that turret. Really unfortunate they actually didn't.
It is standing gold that should just go down if a minion wave gets in the wrong position, though.
Yeah.
We really want to get this Ocean Drake LS. None of those silly Infernal Drakes this game.
Yeah, Open Dragon. There's no point, to not just capture it. It's the most important Drake in the game.
Yeah. Well, actually, for a Sona composition, you can almost argue
All right, so, you know what? I actually talked about this in the last broadcast.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're right, it was 8.
And let's pay attention to how effective the Ocean Dragon is this game at key moments.
Uh-huh. Oh, well,
at
key moments, it does absolutely nothing.
Right. It doesn't. It doesn't,
It's like after the key moment, just before the next key moment. That's when it's good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the theory. That's a lot of money popping up out of the ground right there. So once again, SANDBOX coaching staff, real happy. And look, I'm reading this moment as coaching staff that knows that they're in a pretty good spot.
Yeah.
You know what, guys? I think they're right.
Well, they're in a massive advantageous spot right now, given their team composition.
Dove has completed his Nash's Tooth. He's going for the Nashor's variety this time with the lethal tempo. We've seen a whole lot of different builds. Yukao being the strangest, not opting in for any attack speed in his Azir build.
Trinity Force is actually the item of choice, it seems, for Prey, which is really, really surprising to me.
Yeah, just wanting some extra damage, I guess, over
the Ice
controlling
utility. Yep.
I can understand that. OnFleek, lying in wait. We know that KT members are in this little brush over here. Okay, sweep is going to be used, and all 3 of these What? When are we going to do something? When are we going to do something, guys? The Korean cast is going completely ballistic.
I feel like
right
I think they're waiting for Stranger Things. Someone tell them
Season 3?
That's in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Coming soon, though. I'm really excited.
Yeah.
Seismic shove lands onto Joker. He's able to at least dive his way out, and there's some heals available from Ghost as well. I'm so used to saying that Joker's the one doing the healing, but Joker eats up all that grey health. We got another W on rotation here from Ghost, and Joker's back to almost full health. Prey slowed down, good bone skewer. Onto BDD, does a fair bit of damage there as well, but he's going to be okay. SANDBOX testing the waters, no pun intended. They move back to the river, and Smeb on the bottom side is going to punish them for it. He's able to get that inside track and claim this local gold. Score. He's going to be able to get that chilling smite. There's the knock-up flash from SnowFlower to get the tongue lash, and 700 gold goes over to Score.
And that's so big right now. It almost deletes the current gold advantage right now.
Yep, Summit now trying to defend underneath this turret as well. Knows that Score is in the area, but OnFleek, he's split pushing. On the top side of the map, he wants to get towards the Trinity Force ASAP. 105 currently on the Xin, as our Summit has to use the World Ender very, very early. Speaking of early, that's the Ignite coming in. Flash out, Umbral Dash, gets knocked up, and he is going to die. Summit just trying to waste as much time as possible, and BDD is the one that claims that kill, but outer turret in the mid lane falls, outer turret in the top lane falls, and SANDBOX are going to claim more objectives on this map.
Summit dies, but it's another one of those deaths where it's okay.
Yeah.
It ends up being profitable for SANDBOX, to have that happen.
That's basically 6 turrets taken already, because you can see that bottom inner turret, he's almost
They
dead.
got 3 waves in mid lane. They got, I believe, 2.5 waves in top lane, and Summit did get the wave that was underneath the turret.
Yeah.
So even though they lost bottom tier 2, they make out with a massive net gain everywhere else on the map. They got 4 turrets.
Yep, and they erected a Sun turret in the mid lane there as well, which is actually going to help them at least understand exactly where this bottom lane is. That's going to get taken down. Prey with his Trinity Force now complete, like you were mentioning before. Still has to complete the tier item, as he wants to get that Manamune online.
Not sure what the Mercury treads are there for Taliyah.
Yeah, it's an odd one.
I can't wrap my head around it. Yeah, it's real important. When you get hit by the Sona that's in melee range of you, I don't think that you're worrying about the CC reduction. I think you're just dead.
Maybe he didn't want to invest too much magic resist into his build, and that's going to be the little bit of magic resist he got. Yeah, that's, oh look, I don't have a way of, yeah, that's all. That's my attempted play-by-play positive analysis of that particular choice.
That's an 8th place finish in Teamfight Tactics.
Yeah, that is. That's
a death cap on
That's a death cap on Cassidy. That's exactly what I was going to say. The death cap Ludens Cassidy boys. Rank 3. Let's go. The worst thing is you can still win with that, dude. And then people think, oh, it's so good. I'm going to put all my death caps on me, Cassidy. No, Cassidy is just good, guys. Those items do nothing.
I like it.
Okay, Mountain Drake going to get taken for free. That's double Mountain for a Sona composition. And don't need to be a genius to know that that's a good thing. For SANDBOX. Score. Not going to get that one. It's a drive-by. Tunnel by. For Score, who's just going to make his way out.
Someone needs to call Chris Crocker, because they need to leave Aatrox alone. You get that. You know, maybe not all the viewers get that. Maybe they're too young for Chris Crocker. Leave Brittany alone.
That's too deep. That is too deep. Well, John's going to get his second blue buff. He is greedy this game. 3,000 gold to lead here for SANDBOX, but I feel like that lead is much larger than you can see in that number at the top of the screen. Because they have 2 Mountain Drakes heading towards a phase where Baron control is exactly what you want. Score is the Rek'Sai, so checking around Baron is much easier if SANDBOX are actually moving, because Tremor Sense is a pretty useful tool. However, I don't know what you're supposed to do with a 0-3-0 Ezreal, who's at least farming up quite effectively, but he hasn't completed 2 items yet, and he's Ezreal. And he's staring down the barrel of completed Frostfang as well as Seraph's Embrace and Lich Bane. Ghost does respectable damage right now on the Sona. Not to mention Joker being able to hunt for whoever he wants and try and get that skewer in the right position.
SANDBOX is definitely able to actually just start the Baron with the double mountain and all the Sona heals. So as long as they have the vision coverage around it, they can just start it, demand that KT come in. But the issue is that it's red side for Taliyah, Ezreal, Jayce. So it's really easy for them to try to shoot skill shots, obviously, into the Baron pit from the vicinity of the red side jungle and do so very safely. This has actually birthed some metas historically in the past for range pokey kind of champions.
Yep.
Ezreal, Zoe, you had Lethality Varus at one point, red side Varus. You had Azir.
Well, there's a really cute ward, as you can see, just over the wall, keeping an eye on that Baron for KT. Sun turret comes up. SANDBOX will just use that to buy themselves some time. Smeb pushing into Summit. He's got a 1-level lead and a 34 CS lead as well. Great news for the Jayce, but remember, KT invested so much to making sure he could do it. As you can see, that ward paying dividends. Teleport coming in from SANDBOX. Aatrox wants to be here in time. No teleport used yet from Smeb. Doesn't feel like he has the pressure necessary. And the Weaver's Wall going to cut Baron in half, but it's going to stop that from being continued. SANDBOX move back mid. They want to get this wave pushing. And it feels like the teams have met an accord. They're going to discontinue trying to take down the Purple Worm.
2 minutes until the next Ocean Dragon ends up coming up. KT has brought the gold lead pretty close, actually, between the two teams, as Dove clearing out that ward inside of the Baron pit.
I feel like there's a lot of CS though going missing on KT's side. You can see 180 to 236 in the mid lane. And 162 isn't exactly a huge number, and Kench doesn't have a lot more, but there's the Devour to get Frey out of trouble. Pebbles go down, not too much more in there. True Shot Barrage softens up a couple of members, but yeah, this turret is certainly going to fall. Crescendo lands, they take down the turret first. His OnFleek knows he's not getting out, so he may as well go in. Uses the stopwatch, invests a lot, W's good. There's the Emperor's Divide, held onto for a very long time, as now Summit wants it with the World Ender. Yeah. But there is no way that he's going to get anything there. Prey trying to offer the Mystic Shots, doesn't have the Frozen Gauntlet, of course. The Iceborne Gauntlet, Frozen Fist. However, he is still going to be able to offer a lot of damage with the Trinity Force. SANDBOX get out safely.
So now they're just going to clear out vision around KT's red side jungle. Prey trying to maybe make something happen, but he's definitely playing with fire. Not anymore.
That's a big button. Power Shock Blast is a good one.
Everyone's healed back up. No big deal.
Goes presses W a couple of times, and then crisis averted. You know, True Shot Barrage. Kind of wish that we had a Luden's Echo completed here on Prey. That would have been a very, very dead dub. But have they stopped the backs enough? Is it Baron for KT?
No.
Okay.
Not close enough. OnFleek almost there. Too many members in close vicinity. Sona is a champion.
Yep.
So Ocean Dragon now coming up in 10 seconds. We'll see if SANDBOX actually prioritizes trying to get it.
Highly likely. They have enjoyed their Ocean Drakes in the past. Smeb's waiting in the area, but he wants to get his split push happening one more time. Didn't have to use that teleport, as we mentioned earlier. So they're going to have that opportunity with the Jayce. All right, Joker is going to steal himself the red buff. No big deal. Deep water dive. BDD trying to check things out, but you can see the vision line getting more and more difficult for KT to actually contest it. We've got pings, but they're beware pings as OnFleek decides to ignore them, heading straight towards this Baron. The two-man Baron potential is there, of course. Ghost going down very low. Crescendo going to miss underscore. Weaver's Wall set up. Baron down to 3,000 health. Didn't want to go for the 50-50. 5 members of SANDBOX in the river, and Smeb still hasn't pulled the trigger on the teleport. He's now created a clock on this siege of the Baron.
They are forked
right someone now has to go in.
Oh,
go back. And it's not going to be the Aatrox just yet. He's going to wander down.
All right, so we're going to be in this song and a dance for a little while, it seems.
Yeah, a bit of a do-si-do, but vision control reclaimed by KT.
One of the interesting things for me is that Ghost is electing to move into Death Cap instead of just going Oblivion Orb, even though there's no magic resist on the side of KT. And so with the Sork Pen boots, he would be dealing near true damage to several of the targets. He would also be getting himself a little bit more HP, makes himself a little bit more tankier.
Yep. I just like the Rabadon's Death Cap purely because the heals will then be way bigger.
The heals are definitely a lot bigger, but given the volatility of the current game state, I think getting as much power as possible for these neutral objectives would probably be the best choice. And considering that Oblivion Orb is 350 gold difference from needlessly large rod, I don't know why not just pick that up and then transition into Death Cap if you're really going for the 35-minute scaling type power play.
Well, SANDBOX have to start the Baron if they don't want to just lose an inhibitor for free. Joker is the one standing off to the side. He wants to deny score.
It's not really in there. A 50-50. Azir can stop Rek'Sai.
Well, that's going to be the Bone Skewer to stop the Rek'Sai from getting into the pit. Joker sacrifices himself for the good of the colony as SANDBOX with 4 members with Baron are looking to escape. Score still trying to. We got teleports coming in though as Smeb is just trying to win the game, but SANDBOX have walked all the way back to their base. They won't be able to save that inhibitor turret, but we can start a conversation about whether or not that was worth it for KT.
It's going to depend what can they do with the 3 minutes of Baron. Now, if they march all the way up bottom, they push back all the super minions, they raise the bottom Tier 3 inhibitor turret, they get the bottom inhibitor and the mid inhibitor, yes, it's going to be worth it.
That's a lot of things.
Doesn't look like they're keen on doing it, so I'm not... We got a lovely game of League of Legends on our... Oh, never mind.
Well,
I think they're going to do it.
KT figured it out. Do you see that ping?
Yeah.
It's on the enemy Nexus. They know how to win this game.
They know. I've heard rumors about what happens if you last hit the Nexus.
You may think that getting 90 gold from a cannon minion is the best thing in League of Legends. Getting 50 gold from a Nexus, that is the actual best thing in League of Legends.
Do you know what else gives you 50 gold in League of Legends?
What's that?
Timbers.
Hey, yeah, that's true.
Do you think that's a coincidence? It's not. Just play any.
All right, well, that's a very dead Joker, but a very dead Baron at the same time. You take that trade as SANDBOX. What trade you wouldn't take is your base being absolutely obliterated by Jayce. In the meantime, Smeb is going to set up this split push one more time. 60 CS in the lead. Guardian Angel now done. No more item slots left. He's a very, very, very powerful boy on this Jayce. SANDBOX, though, they've got a Baron, and they're pushing up towards the enemy base now. True Shot Barrage. Try and clear out the minions. Not going to work too well as Joker thinking about getting in position. Look at this tower fall, though. It's going down so quickly. Ghost, speaking of going down quickly, is very squishy on this Sona. But he's able to press W a couple of times, gets that health back. KT will know that if they just focus him with a couple of spells at the same time, he is going to die. However, so is that inhibitor. An inhibitor in the mid lane is also going to fall. So far, SANDBOX are winning.
Jayce got the inhibitor turret.
Yeah, brute forced it. Doesn't have much of a minion wave yet as they're starting the 1v1. Empowered Recalls are going to come in here as well. Dender has been utilized. Great hammer back there from Smeb as we were casting from the picture-in-picture. He does get the flash off. Smeb, he flashes. It's an unfortunate timing here because that base gate ain't his and he ain't getting anywhere. Ghost is going to be able to pick up that kill. Meanwhile, fight in the mid lane. SnowFlower. Oh, that's going to be the resets. Joker able to flash away as well. Prey's going to die. Ghost kills him with his Lich Bane, and that is going to be game over. They're going to follow Super Creeps to the Nexus, and SANDBOX have found the victory in game number 3. It was the result to be expected, but KT should have had a 2-0, but as we finish the day, it's a SANDBOX victory.
Yeah. KT had everything going their way. And in game number 1, they just threw it. Game number 2, they brought it back. Game number 3, they picked Jayce, the defender of tomorrow, but Prey's birthday was yesterday, so a little bit too late.
Yeah.
As game number 3 will go the way of SANDBOX. And in the end there, I mean, we got to see Jayce was doing a really good job at split pushing and trying to bring the game back to a winnable point. And it was a really good job by Score and Smeb to put Summit in the ground as far as they did. But then as the game went on, there wasn't all that much that they were able to do. The Taliyah and the Ezreal were doing what they were meant to. They stall the Baron, they poke. It's really, really hard for the Sona team to get on top of them. Fortunately, though, the Rek'Sai, good champion.
Yeah. Ah, man. Such a weird series of League of Legends, but a deserved victory in the end for SANDBOX, who kept their heads together, were able to take that one down. Smeb almost managed to split push KT's way to victory, sometimes you roll the dice and it doesn't come up the numbers that you want. And that last team fight, those last skirmishes, they were all SANDBOX, and they were just the more coordinated team in late game macro. And it's just such a weird thing to talk about, right?
Yeah.
A team full of veterans, cool heads, smart players. And on the other side, it's these young upstarts coming out from Challenger and being able to out macro all of these celebrated players. Score, it's been known as a mastermind of League of Legends for such a long time. It's just a different scenario now.
Well, SANDBOX, they come off with the win today, but it's not the kind of win that people would have expected.
No.
People probably were expecting a much more dominating performance.
Well, it was a loss, actually. It was a loss that KT didn't really want to give over to SANDBOX, so instead they decided to
SANDBOX didn't win today.
Throw
KT
one back
lost.
to them.
I like that.
I think that's it's unfortunate, but it's unfortunately the way that we have to describe this series.
Yeah.
Because that game number 1 was 3 Infernal Drakes and a KT with a fantastic position in the mid game, but that ultimately lost like 5 team fights in a row and lost the game. From just
that's
pure mechanical and decision-making flaws back to back.
Yeah, and that's why team composition synergy is really important. So
got to make sure you get your classes and your origins aligned. That's what you got to do.
Missing out on the bonus.
They were playing with 2 sorcerers, 1 wild, 5 nobles. It was just a disaster.
It was really off. Just don't know really how to.
They were playing for 3rd carousel, hoping for a Kayle, and they didn't get one.
They didn't know that Jin Air already secured 3rd carousel.
Oh man, and Jin Air just jumped in front of them and got the KO with a special on it. Oh no, a sneaky little Pengu just getting in there.
Yep.
Well, Joker, there he is, the military man himself, and he's, spoiler alert, going to get an MVP for this game because that Pyke play was fantastic. The Pyke Sona working out very well here for SANDBOX and just demonstrating that the old man mechanics are A-OK. That hunt down of Score as well in the jungle on his way back from base was really cool.
To the southwest of the blue.
Yep. Checking out Mina Kim just there as the players exiting. As this was a Weaver's Wall.
That was a Weaver's Wall, not
trying
quite
to interrupt the
able to catch Dove, and this is where all the 1v1s are going
really
on.
Nice. Didn't notice that when it was happening, but I think that we missed this fight because we were looking elsewhere.
Yeah. And so things are definitely being mistimed. BDD unable to kill Azir right there, but even if he did, it doesn't really matter. With Jayce having gone down and the fight having extended as long as it did.
Did you see Ghost gameplay the heck out of Prey right there? Yeah. He just gameplayed him right in the face with his power chord. Damn, that did a lot of damage. So, a little bit melancholy on the Prey day. It was his birthday yesterday, so still happy birthday to Prey. But, oh no.
Oh no.
It was right there in his script the whole time.
No.
That's a roughie. That's a big roughie, as this was about the worst start to a lane against a Sona you could have possibly had in this game.
Yeah, this Sona got the absolute best dream scenario that she ever could have hoped for this game in the early start.
And the crescendo missing Prey, that was a great arcane shift, but I mean, when the game goes this far in the direction of a Sona lane, it is just so hard to have confidence that you'll be able to pull it back. Joker missing that one, but that was just another good arcane shift, buffered by Prey. Still able to grab the kill, though. And SANDBOX just Sona piked their way to victory. All of that money into the back pockets of the SANDBOX players. Not waiting for the reset in order to get the extra 300 gold from the Tahm Kench, I think was a misplay.
So KT is an 8th now, right?
Or we'll have to look at the standings. I'm not sure. Let me consult my.
You get it?
They're 2 and 4. I don't know whether their score is going to go below Hanwha. So no. So they're not in 8th. They're in 7th still.
Okay. So it's not 8.
K8T.
KT.
K8T.
SKT 119.
Yep.
Which is the emergency number.
Take your memes out of my LCK, alright?
Alright.
We're a serious region.
Alright.
We used to be the best in the world, okay?
Back in my day.
Back in my day, Korea ran League of Legends.
Oh, man.
And that was back in my day when I was an LPL commentator and I was just getting trashed by the LCK all the time. I leave the LPL and they start winning. What the heck? Although that doesn't really work because I never worked on EULCS or LEC back in the days. So now they're our overlords and I don't quite understand. But I do understand that Korea isn't necessarily the best after this series because it was a rough ride for SANDBOX and KT. SANDBOX did take the win, but it did kind of feel handballed to them, which is not how you want to talk about a victory for the team.
No, definitely not. And we're going to have to see what SANDBOX is feeling in the winner interviews in just a moment here.
Yeah, and it will be with the bottom lane of SANDBOX Gaming as well. If you cast your mind back to game one, it was Ghost that was able to grab that one, as this is where it all started. Joker landed quite a few of these bone skewers in the laning phase, and you saw he just didn't care. He set up the catfish to be eaten, ironically, to be devoured, and then just went and killed prey. It was really nice
Pyke
stuff.
and Tahm, you know, actually I haven't read this from the lore, but I assume that they're from the same place, right? Pyke and Tahm?
Yeah, Zorn. Is it Zorn that they're from? I think it is. Yeah.
They both have the thick skin stuff going on.
Yeah.
That's an
origin.
Oh.
Thick skin origin?
Okay.
I don't know. Let's go to the MVP interview. So here's Jayce with some translation.
Thank you very much, guys. This is Jason with the Universe Translation, and today we're going to be hearing from the bottom duo of SANDBOX Gaming, Ghost and Joker. It was a tough game, right? And I heard you had your 3 years anniversary yesterday. How do you feel right now? Well, we thought that we might lose our momentum if we lose today, so I really want this win. But I didn't really expect this to be this hard, so right now I feel really happy. And Joker, all the coaching staff came to you talking about the games right after game number 3 ended. What did you guys talk about? Well, we had 2 awards at the Baron's Pits, but we actually didn't know that well, so we had some hardship taking down the Baron, so we were having some of the advice and feedback. And KT Rolster, their performance was actually very challenging as well. So what was the toughest thing today overall? Well, today during the preparation, well, the draft we prepared and what KT kind of brought didn't really go as we predicted, and they had a lot of counter picks against our strategies, so we had to go with some of the picks that actually we weren't ready with, so we had some hardships, yeah. So SANDBOX game number 3, Sona and Pyke popped up. Did you practice that a lot? Well, we were trying a lot of competition with Sona, and we saw other teams trying Sona Pyke competition, and we thought it was quite viable. And Joker, this was your first Pyke play in LCK. Did you feel any pressure? Well, Pyke, the champion, is very stylish, so it was really hard at the first place, but I started to enjoy playing in it, and also I could find out what are the strengths of Pyke throughout my experience, so I think I was doing quite well today. Sona, her Lich Bane, you got your Lich Bane very early phase of the game, and you were able to pick up items very quickly. However, the game was extended a little bit. Why was that? Well, when we were trying Baron, we should have had more visions, and I think we were doing poorly with our macros, so we kind of had to slow down when we were trying the Baron, so that was kind of the mistake that we made. However, it seems like you guys came back to game in the middle of the game or the mid-late phase of the game. Well, we knew that we were gonna win if we group up, but KT Rolster kind of resisted us. So we just tried to just push inhibitor and stay grouped up. So we just rushed the bot lane.
백도어를 시도하고 하는 상황에서도 침착하게 잘 풀어내셨습니다. 그렇게 승리를 이끌어냈는데 자, 두 분에 보면 떠오르는 챔피언이 아무래도 유미 얘기를
We have to talk about Yuumi over here.
조커 선수는 귀여워서
because Joker, you said you like Yuumi because it's really cute, but Ghost, you said you don't even really want to look at it, you really hate it. So how was today's game, Joker? KT Rolster also utilized Yuumi and you guys also played it on your side. Well, my Yuumi, I was kind of stray cat. But the SnowFlower's Yuumi was a very intimidating and a very cute Yuumi, so I think our performance was actually worse compared to them, so I think we have to kind of improve on it. I think Yuumi is still a very viable pick, but I think we have to practice a lot more.
고스 선수가 당황한 표정으로 봤는데
Ghost, you look a little bit surprised. So how was today's Yuumi? Do you hate it more now? No, I like my Yuumi, but the opponent Yuumi is really irritating, you know?
네, 3세트에는 밴을 하면서 샌드박스가 그렇게 승리를
So you guys finally banned that Yuumi in game number 3. And performance of the bot duo of SANDBOX are keep evolving. So any message to each other? So first, Joker, thank you for performing so well. Including you and all the other teammates, I hope we can do good jobs throughout the splits.
같이 막 오더를 해나가는 장면도 나오기도 했는데.
We also heard you guys sharing shot calls together. So any message to Ghost? Well, personally, I think our bottom duo has bigger potential, but even though we kind of failed to show the best we got, so some other people still underestimate us, so I want to make sure to show better performance to the fans and be the well-known bot duos that have a great potential and performance. So once again, congratulations on the win, and thank you very much for this interview. This will be the end of the interview with Ghost, Joker from SANDBOX Gaming, and I'm going to pass it back to our casters. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jayce, for the interview translation. Great to hear from the bottom lane of SANDBOX Gaming there. Deserved MVPs for those guys. A little bit unfortunate for KT fans, but if you're a KT fan, you expected this. Come on.
Just know that we're going to take a look at the
yourself.
standings here in just a second. And yeah, we can see there that KT, they're currently tied for second. You know, I came into today and I said that it was going to be a 2-1 SANDBOX so that KT could stay 7th.
You did say that.
And
now they're even with Hanwha Life in 7th place.
Someone tell guys in suits to the left to get a...
It's a yikes. But it is a SANDBOX that's once again in 2nd place, and it's feeling very reminiscent of the beginning of spring.
What would you give the overall score for KT?
The overall, probably, I kind of wish that I had a 5, but a 5 out of 7? I'll give it about a 5 out of 7.
5 out of 7?
Yeah.
I like that.
Solid 5 out of 7.
Take a look at some of the next matches coming up.
And it is going to be that telecom war. So I told a lie, guys. The first match back in round 2 is the telecom war. And Thursday will be our first telecom war of summer. And it's not the telecom war we were expecting. But it is the telecom war.
KT's going to beat SKT. Do you know why?
Why?
Because 7, 8, 9.
I want to go. I'm so done.
That's why they needed to lose 2-1 today.
They called it! The Illuminati is confirmed! I can't believe it. Happy birthday, Prey. And congratulations. I mean, 7th place is in 8th place, alright? They managed to win a game back, and he had a good performance in game number 2. That was a legitimate win from KT, and they got very close to 2-0ing SANDBOX and pipped to the post in game number 1. Exciting series though, and it's been an exciting week in week 3. We'll see you back for week 4 next Wednesday. Good night.
You take me higher when I feel low, make my world brighter when I'm alone. I keep on rolling, oh, with your fuel. You're like my gasoline that makes my dream come true. 'Cause this is the beginning. Together we'll be winning. With you I'm a savage. Make my sorrow silly.
This place won't grind.